Every year, 15 billion donuts are consumed worldwide. In the United States alone, 82 donuts are consumed every second. With a market valued at $11 billion, these donuts are a craze in countries like Canada and the United States. But do you know how they are made? Watch this video to see all the stages of donut production, from mixing the raw materials to the final packaging. Donuts were created in 1847 by Hanson Rager, an American sailor. He noticed that the dough remained raw in the center, and to solve this, he pierced it with a salt shaker lid before frying it, which resulted in more even cooking. This simple idea made donuts more appealing and easier to prepare. In the 20th century, donuts became popular in the United States, especially after the invention of the automatic machine to produce them, created by Adolf Lied in 1920. This innovation allowed them to be produced on a large scale and sold in bakeries and fairs, which greatly increased their presence in daily life. The global expansion was driven by chains like Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts. In 1937, Vernon Rudolph founded Krispy Kreme in North Carolina. The success was so great that he opened his own store to meet the growing demand. By the 1950s, the Krispy automatic ring King Jr. machine revolutionized the process. It produced up to 720 donuts per hour, mixing the ingredients, shaping, frying, and flipping the donuts automatically, which consolidated the brand's success. From the 1960s onwards, the process improved and expanded significantly. Nowadays, the machine is much more efficient and computerized. It can produce up to 3,000 donuts per hour. From the beginning of the process to the end, it takes approximately 1 hour to complete a batch of donuts. The ingredients for the donuts arrive in huge bags at the Krispy Kreme factory. The manufacturing process begins with the preparation of a special dough, which is essential to achieve its light, fluffy texture and the perfect balance between sweetness and softness. To make the donut dough, Krispy Kreme uses high-quality ingredients combined in exact proportions. The main ingredients are self-rising flour, which provides the structure of the donut, and sugar, which gives sweetness and helps in the fermentation process. Yeast, which allows the dough to rise and become fluffy. Powdered milk, which adds flavor and improves the texture. Eggs, which help bind the dough. And plant-based milk, which gives softness and prevents the donut from becoming dry. Salt, which balances the flavor. And water, which activates the yeast and helps bring the ingredients together. These ingredients are poured into large industrial mixers, capable of mixing huge amounts of dough at the same time. The mixture is beaten at high speed for several minutes until it forms a smooth and homogeneous dough. During this process, the gluten in the flour begins to develop, which gives the dough its elasticity. The machines are programmed to ensure that the dough has the perfect consistency. If the dough is too runny, the donuts won't hold their shape. If it's too dense, they'll be hard. Once the dough is ready, the factory operators check its texture and elasticity. Tests are done to make sure the dough has the right amount of air, that it's not too sticky or too dry, and that it can be shaped easily without breaking. If the dough is too dry, more water is added. If it's too runny, a little more flour is added. After mixing, the dough needs to rest for about 10 minutes before moving on to fermentation. This resting period allows the yeast to start activating, the flavors and texture to develop, and the dough to gain more elasticity before being shaped. The workers cut the dough and put it into a die-cutting machine that shapes the donuts with their characteristic hole in the center. A ring-shaped mold is used to cut the donuts. Clean and precise cuts are made so that the shape is perfect. The leftover dough is removed and can be reused for another batch. The hole allows the donut to cook evenly during frying. Without it, the center could remain raw. After cutting, the donuts go through a visual and automatic inspection to ensure they are all uniform in size and shape. If a donut doesn't meet the quality standards, it is removed before reaching the fryer. Next, the freshly formed donuts go through a proofing chamber. There they go up and down on a conveyor belt for over 30 minutes. A hot and humid air system activates the yeast, making the donuts rise and reach their final size. Yeast is a microorganism that, when it comes into contact with the heat and humidity of the fermentation chamber, starts to consume the sugars in the dough and release carbon dioxide. This gas gets trapped in the dough, forming small bubbles that make it expand and become lighter. The texture becomes softer and fluffier, and the characteristic flavors of the donut develop. After fermentation, the donuts are ready to go into the fryer. They go into a giant stainless steel fryer where they float on the surface of the hot oil. Thanks to the yeast and fermentation, the donuts contain air inside, which makes them float in the oil while they cook. Each side is fried for 40 to 45 seconds. The fryer mechanism automatically flips the donuts, so they cook evenly on both sides. This is how their characteristic golden and crispy crust is formed. If the donuts aren't flipped properly, they may end up more cooked on one side than the other, affecting their texture. After being fried, the donuts come out of the fryer and go through a draining area where the excess oil is removed before moving on to the next step. Now comes one of the most anticipated moments, the glazing, which gives the donuts their unmistakable shine and sweet flavor. The donuts pass under a cascade of sugar glaze, where they are completely covered with a thin, shiny layer. Below the conveyor belt is the glaze tank, which pumps the glaze up to the cascade that pours it evenly over the donuts. The leftover glaze is recycled back into the tank for the next batch. After passing through the glaze cascade, the donuts travel along a vibrating conveyor belt that helps remove excess glaze, preventing it from building up at the base. If the donut isn't the classic glaze type, it goes to the decoration and filling station, where it can get different ingredients and flavors. The donuts continue their journey to the cooling tunnel, where the glaze hardens completely. After that, the worker puts the donuts in boxes, and they're ready for sale. And that was today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.